If you want to be able to create smooth, seamless transitions like these that you can use for travel videos, cooking videos, family videos, epic B-roll videos, or basically every other video, you need to know what shutter speed is. Hey, what's up guys, Julian from smartphonefilmmakingpro.com here, the ultimate online course about smartphone filmmaking. And I know technical aspects like, for example, shutter speed is not the most interesting topic to talk about. I get that. And especially since we are filming with our smartphones and we want to keep the things as simple as possible. But at some point, if you want to develop your filmmaking skills further, you need to understand what those technical aspects do and how they will affect your final image. And today we will talk about shutter speed and how it affects your image. And I won't go into the technical description of what shutter speed is because we do cover this in far more detail inside the full Smartphone Filmmaking Pro course. But today I will show you how the shutter speed affects your image and how you can use it to your advantage. So if you have a very low shutter speed, things that are moving in your image are going to look blurry and overall your image is going to be pretty bright compared to a high shutter speed. And if you have a very high shutter speed of, for example, 1/1000th of a second, there won't be any motion blur in your clips whatsoever. Everything will be tack sharp at every point. And I guess you probably can already see where this is going and why it's important to have the right shutter speed for your videos. Because if you are shooting these seamless transitions with a very high shutter speed, you won't have any motion blur. And in the end, that's what's going to ruin your shots and your transitions. That is what makes your transitions look less smooth and more jerky. So the trick to get those smooth, seamless transitions, well, is just by using a shutter speed of twice your frame rate. So for example, if you shoot at 25 frames per second, if you live in Europe for example, you should have a shutter speed of 1/50th of a second. And if you film at 60 frames per second, well then you should have a shutter speed of 1/120th of a second and so on. I think you get the picture. Well, and if you have those settings right and then you do, for example, a whip pan transition, well then you will have a very nice motion blur and that is what's going to hide the cut kind of like magically. And just by the way, I almost always recommend that you should use a shutter speed of twice your frame rate. There are just a few exceptions where you should use a different shutter speed, but for 99% of all shots, I would recommend that you use a shutter speed of twice your frame rate. So if you are using an iPhone, you cannot change the shutter speed within the stock camera app. You would have to upgrade to a proper video shooting app like Filmic Pro, for example. And if you use Android, you could go to the Pro Video mode and there you can change the shutter speed within the stock camera app. Or if you prefer to also use a proper video app, I would also recommend that you should get Filmic Pro. And by the way, I'm not sponsored by them. So now you know the secret kind of like and what it takes to create seamless whip pan transitions. But you are going to face a problem. When you are shooting on a bright sunny day, you will be unable to get a correct exposure with a shutter speed of like 1/50th of a second. And that's where ND filters come into play, which are kind of like sunglasses for your camera. We do cover all the technical aspects and creative techniques and far more in our full Smartphone Filmmaking Pro course. We currently have over 50+ tutorials and well over 5 hours of super high valuable content inside the course. The first link below that like button is a link to my free 45-minute webinar where I share the top 5 secrets to getting cinematic smartphone footage. And as I've said, in our course we go into far more details so that you can follow along better. But that's basically it for this video. I hope you got some value out of it and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.